Right on.
All right, it says we're streaming. Let's see what the phone says. We got our fancy thing up
Nice.
with our fancy transition.
I like that a lot. And I like that you're like stone facing it, and I'm like couldn't be happier.
I'm not. Do I look unhappy?
You look emotionless. Yeah.
Okay.
Look, you could go either way.
See, I gotta swear less. All right, everybody. If you're listening to us, I gotta tell you, I need to swear less. But I had the kids on those mics, and these mics are as good as those $400 mics everybody says you gotta use.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could tell. Yeah, like the evidence proves it clearly. Listening to the show.
But yeah, like capturing the kids' voices, and they weren't
The high pitch kind of. Oh, and like not.
So they
yeah.
weren't real close. So I just turned them up,
Yeah.
and they didn't get feedback or shitty sound or.
Nice.
You know what is funny is they pick up the dog's paws.
Oh yeah, like hi, and like walk, like dancing around.
Just the clicking.
Oh, you already talking about the mics. I meant the kids. Like pick up the dog's paws and like. The high pitch kind of. Oh, and like not.
So they weren't. All right, we're good. So I just turned them off.
Yeah.
And,
Sweet.
And they didn't get feedback or shitty sound.
Nice.
Okay. So we do our fancy transition.
Boom.
Get rid of this
we got
guy.
some weird thing. Nice. And
All right. So it's, what is it, August?
Today's the 8th?
8th.
Yeah.
This is podcast number. I got to start remembering that. Is this 16? No.
I think it's like 13.
13?
Yeah.
Podcast number 13. I'm Chris.
I'm Charlie.
And we are?
8 ballin', baby.
All right. So, in absence of Laney and potentially doing, and of course Ricky's on my feet. This is just such a tradition now.
Ricky's
and I
great.
lost my train of thought.
Instead of having Lainey here to talk with us about potentially volatile subject.
Yeah, so Laney is Charlie's older sister.
She's my awesome older sister.
And
my favorite older sister.
Yes, and your only older sister.
Well, I didn't have to say that.
Okay. Sorry, Laney. And she's quite accomplished. What was she, 28 now? 29?
26.
26.
She'll be turning 27 this year.
And she's doing very well with a very well-known and reputable, we'll just call it tech company.
Yeah.
Leave it at that. So we are going to do women's reproductive rights. And it's probably not what you think. So more to come on that.
Yeah.
So I'd been thinking, I will tell you, the news has, you know how much it bothers me? It has bothered me more this week than ever. And there was something I recorded, and I'm going to play it. Did I tell you where they marketed the mass shooting in El Paso?
Marketed?
Yeah, I'll play it. It's shameless.
Oh my God.
So I'm not going to not swear. It's fucking shameless. It's unreal. And I'll play it. I'll play my phone and show it. But something, and you probably heard this, a common criticism of Marxists, certain super leftist people is, are they really advocates for the poor, or do they just hate the rich? And I will tell you, this week, like I think I told you, most mornings I start with, at 6 a.m., I start with whatever's on, usually BBC, and even they're changing. But then at 6 a.m., I put on Morning Joe and see how they start the show. So the day before yesterday, it was 90 seconds of just Trump snippets, and it was his reactions after shootings. And so they would have, and he's doing his best, right? You know I'm not a Trump fan at all.
Right.
I dislike him. I think he's stupid. I think he's uncensored. I don't think
dangerous even, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The only thing I think he's done that I might say is I like, but I don't even like the way he's going about it, is taking on China. Nobody's ever done it, and he's had the balls to do that. And I think it's just because he's stupid enough to have the balls to do it.
Or arrogant, right? Yeah.
Or arrogant, whatever. Or
Which I guess are similar.
some combination,
Yeah.
thereof. All right, I got to pick up Ricky because it's driving me nuts. Dude, really?
Ricky's going to be our guest on the show today. He's replacing Lainey.
This is 3. Really, guy? Just let me pick you up.
And I guess he's fighting.
He doesn't want me to pick him up the way I want to pick him.
He's like, what the fuck?
Come on, guy.
He's like, yeah, nice.
Right.
Riding high.
And now he's going to bug me for the next hour or two. So say hi to the internet. Internet, say hi to Ricky. Anyway, where was I going? So all they were concerned with is getting across their hatred for and their their unique brand of why he's wrong and bad. And I think I'm really getting into the deep end fast, but I think that through Trump's careless choice of words, careless choice of behavior, careless choice of lots of things, that he has effectively empowered, like the KKK, white supremacists, racists, and all that. I don't think he's racist. If you think, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, then he's part of the problem. I don't subscribe to that theory, but he's certainly not helping race relations.
Sure. I think there's something to that.
But I think I don't think he's, and you could argue this, I don't even think he's smart enough to really even be effectively racist. I think he just gone through life as this fucking rich guy who's gotten his way because he started out with somewhere between $1 and $10 million, depending on whether you believe him or everybody else. And he's just, the way he became president, he's just squished people who gets in his way, leaves the mess for somebody else to clean up, and consequently has Trump Tower and Trump this and Trump that and golf clubs and, wasn't worried about, in his first book, it was like everybody who becomes a multimillionaire or billionaire, I don't know if he was a billionaire when he wrote his first book, was everybody goes bankrupt. So just run your business. You're going to go bankrupt, get the first one out of the way, and get on to the next one. So, when you go bankrupt, you wind up fucking people.
Yeah.
So he doesn't care about that. Anyway, what's my point? So this whole week, it's been very evident to me with the both right and left-leaning news programs that they don't give a fuck. They really don't care. The left-leaning, they weren't advocating for the poor and disenfranchised. They were hating the rich and powerful. And it's really sad. It's really sad. And there are people who need a leg up. There are people who run into obstacles. There are people who could use some help, and nobody's fucking helping them, right? That you said you didn't see it, but when in that first presidential, Democratic candidacy debate, they asked the question, who would give... I got a million things going through my head.
That's
it's
all right.
hard to get my thoughts out. Who would give Medicare to all illegal... Literally, they said all. Who, right? All 10 raise their hands.
Elizabeth Warren couldn't get her fucking hand up fast
But
enough.
Joe Biden,
Yeah.
the most centrist guy arguably on stage, he put his hand up.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I was so disappointed. Beto O'Rourke, who in his little town halls seems to be more centrist when he's being himself, put his hand up. Really, guys? Really, really, really? So if you are an American who's struggling and you can't afford, if you're struggling to pay health care, let's say you really want health care, you have kids, you're like, I just got to have it. You're living in a shitty apartment or a shittier apartment, and you're buying less quality food, and maybe you gave up cable or whatever because you can't afford good health care. And then you see these 10 Democrats, and you think you're a Democrat, and they say, I want to give people who came here illegally, so they're criminals, they don't file fucking tax returns, so they repeat a felony every year, every fucking April 16th. They're felons. And that party wants to give them stuff.
That I paid for.
Right?
Right.
I don't know, man.
I read an article about all of those, not all of them, but some of those candidates, their perspective, what was their new program? You know, it seems like everybody has like, oh, this is my idea to increase fucking spending, which isn't obviously what all of them, that's not the point of it, but that's what all of them are doing. What do I want to do? Increase spending by doing what? This thing. I'm not for that in any time ever, but I just like was losing my mind reading this fucking shit. One of these guys wants to start a VAT, which is like, and I got Chris's cursing curse. I'm swearing too much. But one of the guys, Yang, wants to do a VAT tax, which is 10% tax on all businesses, goods and services produced in the country. 10%. He says it's going to bring in $800 billion of revenue every year.
VAT tax is a bad idea.
Yeah, no shit.
Because it gets levied all the way along the process. And it's also a very inefficient tax because it can get recovered. It just creates work. It creates work.
And it raises the cost of everything. You can't. It's just whatever.
So there's an example of Trump being an idiot or a liar or both, where he's like, you know, a 10% tariff. We don't pay for that. China pays for that. Bullshit.
Yeah, we pay for that.
It just gets tacked onto the price of the product.
Right. Any economist worth his salt could tell you that.
Yeah.
Right.
Any logical thinker worth their salt. Plus, you know, he's like, well, we're going to bring jobs back. Well, guess what? If you're taxing toys and underwear and paintbrushes and tools and, you know, whatever else you buy when you go shopping on the weekends, it's not like we have cordless tool factories sitting idle. It's not like we have underwear factories sitting idle where you just, you know, where there's a bunch of people at sewing machines literally sitting there waiting, and when the business comes back, you just turn the lights on, you turn the sewing machine, and here I am ready to sew. It doesn't work that way. The infrastructure, the capital equipment, the facilities, the buildings, the employees, the retraining and all that, you know, that it takes months to years to do that. So Trump's playing this stupid ass imaginary game with tariffs, telling people, yeah, we'll just put tariffs on and then the jobs will just come back. It doesn't work that way.
Right. And it's not like then prices just magically go down. It's just like, oh, it's just more expensive to buy the other guy's stuff. And then the guy here is like, oh, maybe I can raise my prices 9%, you know, whatever. For those of you who don't understand what the impact of tariffs are, read a book. But actually, that sounded harsh.
Kind of harsh.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. That did sound harsh. I don't mean that to you guys. Not everybody needs to give a shit about.
The knowledge should be shared.
I agree. Yes, and I don't know if I have any other beneficial knowledge to be shared, but that is one good one. I learned that in 7th grade, and you know, whatever. And
so I'm having a rough week with the press.
Yeah. Oh, here, you want to talk about a good one?
Well, here, let's. I'm not sure if, and it is what it is. I'm not going to condemn. I'll just say, of the 3 broadcast network news stations, this was the one that I thought was the least egregious, generally speaking, and they undid that. It aired right after 60 Minutes, so doing the math on which network it is isn't hard to do because I couldn't totally cut out 60 Minutes.
We're not going to name names, but it is a cable news network. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's me in the bedroom getting the dogs going.
Ooh, Chris in the bedroom. Ooh. Oh.
Right, with dogs. Uh-oh.
Oh, scandal. Oh, my God.
Scandal.
This is freaky shit, folks. Yeah. Well, in the meantime, I'll tell you what my hatred of the news is my story. We can get into it after you find that, or after we play that. I read an article today about how 170 Trump supporters, went to Baltimore to clean up the trash after President Trump made a note of it. And they cleaned up 12 tons of trash in like 8 hours or something, or maybe it was 12 hours. I don't know. And the fucking, of course, some media outlet, I'm not going to say left wing because I forget what the name of the outlet is, was like, yeah, like those people need your help. They can take care of themselves. This is just perpetuating the idea that, poor people are stupid and they can't help themselves. And it's like, these people did a fucking good thing. Just because the president, some guy that you despise, pointed out something that's potentially a real problem. And these people were like, you know what? That's right up our alley. That's what we do. Even though we support the president, we're going to go and help these people that hate him. Or even people that are fighting for these people that hate him. It's like, and then you're getting attacked for that? For doing a good thing for free? Go fuck yourself. Why can't you just... It's gotten to that point, man. I don't want it anymore. People just lay off the shit.
Well, that's half the reason we're here, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
These little grassroots efforts to point out the fallacies that exist, right? Because you and I together know everything. So here, this is shameless. This is totally frickin' shameless.
Yes, a typical Saturday morning becomes an horrific scene of chaos, fear, and death when domestic terrorism strikes where no one expected. Nora O'Donnell reports live from El Paso, Texas, with first-hand stories from victims and heroes and what makes this shooting different than many others. Tomorrow on the CBS News.
Oh, God, that voice, too, is just like the tackiest
What
news.
makes this shooting different than others?
What's going to happen tomorrow when this happens again? Oh my God.
We'll be there live
Yeah.
tomorrow. That was an ad
That's fucking
to tune
ridiculous.
in tomorrow for our new take on the shooting. So it happened on Saturday. This was Sunday evening. To tune in on Monday, because if you listen to us, this one's different. Unfrickin' real.
And-
We've gotten to the point where we're making entertainment shows and marketing them on mass shootings. I was floored. I was I was home alone, screaming at the top of my lungs at the television.
That ad is designed to play on people's emotions. You're not getting anyone who's that ad is designed to play on dimwits, not midwits, dimwits. You're playing on fucking people who are susceptible to demagoguery with that kind of an ad.
I think you're appealing to even smart people, because when people die, it tugs on the heartstrings of anybody at any intellect in any socioeconomic strata, and people want to feel obligated to watch out of some sort of, I think, commiseration.
Okay, perhaps that might be fair, but I just think if you're a genuinely smart person and you're still dumbfounded that shootings happen because there exists crazy people and there exist guns, and both of those things will always and forever exist. Whatever, it does not that much of a mystery to me. It's tragic, but
so I was yin and yang after I saw that ad. I was like, do I want to watch it tomorrow so I can, from an informed standpoint, further criticize and rage against it,
or boycott,
or out of total principle and disgust refuse to watch it? And I chose the latter, fortunately, because I'm glad I didn't see it.
Imagine the ad for that, what you'd have to sit through watching those people try to bank on this tragedy. Whatever, why? What? You can't just say a tragedy is a tragedy anymore. It's got to be some underlying thing. Oh, the guy that I hate more than anything in the world is the root cause of this thing, and it's just because I hate him that he caused it. That's why. Whatever. I never thought.
Are you talking about Trump?
Yeah. Well, that's those.
Yeah. Right. So,
and that's why they're doing it. It's not just a shooting thing. It's a shooting thing, Trump thing, guns thing. All this stuff. Let's turn it into a political thing.
So to throw a little water on that fire, just for people to think about. So when Trump went into office, just exaggerating to make a point, there were 300 million guns in circulation. Now there's 300 million 10,
Yeah.
right? In other words, Trump has nothing to do with the gun problem. Nothing. Right? And Charlie and I talked about this over the weekend, but are there too many guns in America? Maybe, but it doesn't matter. The genie is so long and so far out of the bottle, it doesn't matter. Arguing about gun control is stupid. Stupid. To the degree that gun control means keeping them out of the hands of people who have telltale signs about being shooters.
That's the question.
Yes.
Yes, because
Right,
too many
whether-
guns, and what does that mean? It's like, because one guy could own all those guns, and they just could be locked up somewhere. There's too many guns. It's like, no, it's the people who, there's too many guns in this country in the hands of bad people, which I totally agree with. That's fair. I see yet no potential solution to that problem, which is sad.
Yeah, here's an interesting fact, and I'll preface this by saying a long time ago I was a member of the NRA, and because they started getting so political, I stopped, and all it means is subscribing to a magazine. But anyway, people really, really dog the NRA a lot of times in situations like this, and of all the mass shootings in the country, never have any of them been committed by a member of the NRA. So just let's stop talking about them. Are they a powerful lobby in Washington? Yes. Is it a potential source of debate? Yes. If you eliminated the NRA today, would it get one gun off the street? No.
How could it possibly? How could it possibly? And why do you think that, if you think that?
But anyway, back to kind of the initial point is there's over 300 million guns in circulation in the United States, and I don't know, it's been suggested that, and you know what, I wish I'd brought up the footage. I'm going to back up here a little bit. Back when was it Sandy Hook that was the high school in Florida?
That was Parkland.
Okay.
Sandy Hook was in Oregon, I think.
Okay.
Or something.
So after the Parkland shooting, a father of one of the young women who got shot was making the rounds. Anybody who'd listen, he would grab a microphone. So he started on the local news, and ultimately he wound up on all of the Sunday morning news programs, Meet the Press.
I remember that. Yeah.
What's Meet the other ones? Whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah. He ended up on Fox and see all that stuff, yeah.
Right. So he was on all the Sunday morning news programs, and he said, look, in inner cities, they put armed guards and metal detectors. And we have people in more affluent communities saying, I'm not going to turn my child's school into a combat zone by putting in armed guards and metal detectors.
So an airport?
So,
Oh, okay.
But so guess
Yeah.
what? You do that, and these shootings go away.
Finite.
Right? If somebody comes to the school with a gun, there's going to be a shootout between the guard and the shooter. And if the guard loses, then the police get there that much faster,
yeah, right.
and he's been slowed down. And the incident doesn't shoot when the guy's firing into a classroom full of kids. So, people aren't going to get guns in undetected, and there's going to be a line of defense. But we will not entertain that, and I think part of it is a conspiratorial effort on people who say, if we do that, then we don't get to argue about gun control anymore. Because the argument goes away.
Because the problem's gone. We
Right.
solved the problem. That's
right. And you could make the argument that we want to treat the disease. We don't want to treat the symptom. But you know what? If the symptom saves lives, treating the symptom saves lives, and that's where you start, fucking start there. You got a solution you could implement in days, literally in days. Go buy metal detectors, right? Go hire or get the school, facilities people, the their in-house handyman and build a fucking build a put a metal
Build a
detector.
wall.
Build a wall.
Build a wall.
Right, build a wall. Put in a metal detector.
Sorry, I'm just gonna resist. Yeah, why not? The airport. That guy actually made me think. That father, when he spoke, I don't know, something that he said, or he might have said it, but that's when I realized it's like airports. They figured it out. There's not many shootings at airports these days. Once in a while, sure, but like much, much, much less frequent than these school shootings are, or these public. So why don't you just do that?
You just made me think of something I heard over the weekend. Referencing this, they said, you know what? A guy got on a plane with explosive underwear.
Yeah, that was when I was a kid. The Detroit bomb guy.
And he failed. And the next day, they were putting in ways to test people chemically for C4 or whatever the explosive that was in his underwear.
Right, it was
so he attempted to kill people. He failed, and they put in stopgaps at airports.
And you know why that
and we
particular
won't
guy?
do it at school, and they keep frickin' shooting kids.
Right. If you're a parent, ask yourself, right, if you're a parent who thinks that you don't want to turn your kid's school into what you perceive as a combat zone, is it better to have your child live in a combat zone where they don't die, or have them live in a combat zone where they are much more likely to die? Like, what? I don't see the argument here.
Right. No, you just brought up a good point. So
what's better? Yeah.
So what's a combat zone?
Right. It's something you perceive as a combat zone, something that you exaggerate as a combat zone.
If you don't put the stopgap there, then it can become a combat zone.
Literally, yeah.
Because somebody with somebody who's armed comes in and
is firing bullets. Yeah. There's a difference between being around guns and being around whizzing bullets, right? I think anybody who's been in the military can attest to that.
So which combat zone do you want? The protective one or the lethal one?
Yeah, and there's no question in my mind, whatever. But God, I'm so fucking annoyed with politics. Like, I'm becoming so miserly about this stuff.
Well, it's so heightened and so divisive and so charged, and I mean,
it's so childish. Like,
and today I was,
more than anything, it's childish.
These are a lot of the problem. You have these, and I don't remember if it was 2016, 17, or 18. But in one of the Democratic debates, somebody said, I want a world where, and I think it was a black candidate, where they said, my son can walk the street without fear of being gunned down by the police. Now, come on. I forget how many police shootings there were in whatever year it was. There were, and this is 16 too many, but the number of shootings that were deadly, where the would-be perpetrator, or whatever the right word is, was unarmed, was 16. And the
Trayvon?
That's 16 too many. No.
Oh. Okay.
No, and like,
I thought you were talking about a person. No. Yes, the number of, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 shootouts between police and armed.
Right, and the number of unjustified shootings was like minute, right?
Well, and this is going to sound horrible, but I mean unjustified. That's still a subjective thing.
Right.
Right. Remember the guy who got shot? And nobody should get a death sentence. People shouldn't be dying at the hands of cops. Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
But shit goes wrong, and if a bad guy's got a gun, you just put your life in danger. If you're a bad guy with a gun, and the cops are coming, and you don't comply, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get shot. And when somebody puts a bullet in your body, there's a pretty good chance you're going to die. Right?
Right.
But
at least it just went up.
So nothing warrants a death sentence. Unless you're pointing a gun at somebody and you're like firing rounds, then somebody, if you have a gun, you fire back.
Right, imminent danger,
to save your own life. And I lost. Oh, so there was that one guy, and it was on film, where And it was one white cop and one black cop, and they're yelling at the guy, "Show us your hands! Show us your hands!" And it's clearly like, they are full of adrenaline.
Which is a lawful order, but okay.
Yeah, and they had chased this guy. It's the one where I told you I saw it early in the morning, and they chased him through 8 yards, and they didn't show that footage at noon. They just decided to cut that out, and I don't know if it was because it turned it into a 120-second, news story rather than a 20-second. Show us your hands, show us your hands. And it seemed to me that he reached in and he pulled his cell phone out. And I think he wanted to record it. But he made the decision of reaching into his pocket.
And pulling out anything.
Pulling out something. And it was dark and it was kind of shiny. And they opened up on him.
Yeah, that was, I wanted to bring that up. But
it's tragic.
It is fucking tragic. No one wants anybody to die. Whatever. I'm sure there's enough other police brutality going on. They're just as likely to be shitty people as anyone else, but no one wants anybody to die. But come on, there's got to be a reasonable expectation that if I'm a police officer and you're doing something suspicious after I fucking chased you, after you ran away from me, what? Yeah, I don't know. The outrage is unjustified, although it is a tragedy.
The misdirected outrage.
Yeah, it's misdirected outrage, just to put it shortly.
I told the story about when guys tried to hijack me, right? Carjack me.
Did you have a gun?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did I tell that
you
story?
point a gun at somebody? Oh.
No, there's did I tell that story on the podcast?
No. Wait, were you in the vet?
I was in a 5-liter 5.0 Mustang when it was the hot car. I didn't tell the story?
No. I never heard this. I didn't know that ever happened.
Yes. So
Chris is a badass. Wow.
So here's the story. I was visiting my dad on Belle Isle on a weekend night. And generally I would leave. Belle Isle was a really popular cruise spot for Detroit kids who, were out of high school. So they'd cruise the island and they would cruise Jefferson. And if you didn't leave early, it would take, to go the, say, 2 or 3 miles to get out of downtown and onto the freeway, it would take an hour. So you're just sitting there. And it's hot and it's obnoxious and it's, high school kids all fired up on the weekend and they're yelling and screaming and it's just annoying. It's hot and you want to go home and it's just noisy and, car exhaust, fumes and all that. Anyway, so I get off the island, so that probably took 20 or 30 minutes and that's like half a mile. And then I'm on Jefferson Avenue and I'm in a 5-liter Mustang, which was a really popular car at the time. And I'm alone, and this is after my accident, and there was a period when I didn't feel confident being a guy in a wheelchair. So I bought a gun, I threw caution to the wind on getting a CCW, as it was called at the time, and I just carried. So I'm on Belle Isle, I'm on Jefferson Avenue, and there is a sidewalk on my right with a high curb. There is a car, 2 feet from my bumper behind me, 2 feet from my bumper in front of me, and right next to me in the other lane, which is all by way of saying I'm totally pinned in. So the car behind me is like one of these huge Oldsmobile Buick, whatever sedans from the 70s.
4 feet of steel on either side, right? Yeah.
Yes. There were 3 young guys in it. So they bumped me. And this is like Carjack 101.
Right.
So they bumped the back of me, and they didn't run into me. They bumped me just enough, didn't do damage to the car.
To be like, oh my God.
Well, they're yelling. All 3 guys are yelling, "Get out of the car! Get out of the car! We had an accident! Get out of the car, man! Get out of the car!" And I'm like, "Fuck me!" I'm like, "This is carjacking," and I'm thinking that if somebody approaches me, and I tell them I can't get out of the car, I can't walk. I got a wheelchair here. If you want my car, I got to put a wheelchair together, or you got to drag me out and throw me on the ground. And I'm like,
yeah, you're gonna be a nice carjacker.
And if I do this, they're going to hear nothing because they're going to be as torqued up as I am. And if they have a gun, I'm in danger of probably getting shot here. They're going to be like, get the fuck out of the car, get the fuck out of the car. And I'm trying to explain why I can't, and they'll just be like, bam. That's what's going through my head. So I grab my gun from outside the center console, put one in the pipe, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And time is at a standstill. So right now, everything I've just explained has taken maybe 30 seconds. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm like, okay, if a guy approaches the car, I'm going to take my gun, and if his head's close enough, I'm going to put my gun on his head. If his body is close enough, I'm going to put the gun in his stomach. And I'm going to say, okay, two things are going to happen. This is going to go one of two ways. You're not going to move a muscle. You're going to tell your friends when traffic breaks, they're going to go around, they're going to drive by, they're going to leave. If they leave, I'll take my gun away and you get to go home tonight. If anything other than what I'm telling you happens, you're going to die.
Wow. Fuck.
And maybe your friends are going to open up on me, and maybe I'm going to die. But this is my best plan, guy. Tonight's not my night. And you get to choose if it's yours.
I'm the fucking Grim Reaper.
So tell your buddies. I wasn't feeling like the Grim Reaper. I was feeling
scared.
Very vulnerable.
Yeah.
So this was my plan. You tell your buddies, drive around, drive away, you live. They do anything else, and I don't care how much firepower is back in that car. Dude, you're dead. And this is my plan. And so I came up with that plan, and then I'm telling myself, okay, you pull out a gun, you got to be prepared to use it and be in a gunfight. So if something happens, and this is your plan, and you execute, and it doesn't go, you got to shoot the guy. And then you got to try to shoot his buddies. I prepared myself to kill another human being that night.
God, fuck, that's terrible.
And I knew I could do it. I'm like, can you do this? Because if you can't, put the gun away. If you can't, put the gun away and try to survive the hijacking. Or the carjacking, rather.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I kept the gun. I'm going to do my plan. So this felt like an hour, and it was maybe a minute or two. The car in front of me moves up enough that I can drive my car up onto the curb. So I just floor it, go up onto the curb, scrape up my rims, drive down the sidewalk to the next side street, pull off, fucking take off, get on the freeway, get home. I didn't sleep a fucking wink that night. I was so full of adrenaline and fear and excitement. And not good excitement.
Yeah, is the worst thing.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, it was like coming down off a bad trip.
The baddest anything, the baddest possible anything. Yeah.
So that's that story. And the reason I thought of the story was I was talking with your dad once, and he was saying there's absolutely no way anybody should be able to die from a cop's bullet. And I said, look, I've been in a situation where what was going through my head was tonight's not my night.
Yeah.
Tonight's not my night. I'm going home. I didn't have a family at the time, but if I had a family, I'm going home to my family. Tonight is not my night. I'm not getting taken out. And I said, John, I've been there. Where tonight's not my night, and I was prepared to take another life. And I'm like, and I never carried my gun again either. The thought of killing another person and really, really being prepared to do it, I'm like, I don't want to ever go through that again. I just don't want to. And I never carried a gun again.
Yeah, that's I kind of worry about myself for that.
But I said to your dad, I've been there. Don't judge what a cop does when a gun's pointed at him, because what he's thinking is, I want to go home tonight. I want to go home tonight. And when you're looking at the end of a barrel and you have a gun yourself, you're going to take it out and you're going to shoot it. It's self-preservation.
And I'm pretty sure my dad, in his defense, doesn't have much experience being either under fire in any situation or marksmanship with a pistol. So
No,
he doesn't really know what's going on there. But
You know, but his position was more philosophical that nobody should. His is total libertarian. Nobody should die at the hands of the state. Right? He's totally anti.
Right, I agree with that,
Capital
but
punishment, which I go back and forth on that, and I'm usually more against capital punishment. But right, the state having the power to take somebody's life
is fucked up.
is a scary proposition.
Yeah.
And even so, he takes it even to police.
Right, I don't agree with that. I don't know. It's because at some point you're not just an actor of the law. You're not a government actor. You're also a human being.
Well, in England, into the 1970s or maybe even 80s, the bobbies, their cops, all they carried was a billy club.
A nightstick. Wow.
Yeah, until I think it was the 80s, and it wasn't until the 80s, like mid or late 80s, that they actually armed themselves. And even at that, I don't know if it was all cops. I think they're all armed now, but I'm sure they are with
Oh, undoubtedly. Yeah.
Because Europe's having their
They
problems
actually look
with
pretty
terrorism,
badass with those yellow checkered vests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it went a really long time before they were armed.
So you're
Which
telling
is
me
interesting.
Peaky Blinders is inaccurate? What the fuck? God.
Don't even know what that is.
It's a TV show on Netflix. The cops all carry guns. It's like about a crime family, and the cops are like their biggest enemy in the first season, and they're like they'll carry gats and shit. It's whatever. So it's a lie.
Okay.
Fucking inaccuracy.
Totally shifting gears here.
Comedic break.
I think I got a new show to watch. I never ever watched The Sopranos.
Never ever? Well, let's watch it together. I stopped at episode 4. Let's watch it
Really?
together. Yeah. Actually, that's a lot of nights together.
It's a lot of shows.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
A lot of seasons. Well, I'm thinking it's a good binge watch thing.
Totally.
Because when I get up in the morning, my appetite for watching the news is gone.
It's depressing.
That's part of the reason I watched Better Call Saul a second time, is I just didn't want to watch the news.
I've been reading the news in my lunch break at work, and it's just like, can't we just is it cliche to say, can't we all just get along? I'm just sick of it. I'm just fucking sick of it. And I never thought that I would get there as the anarchists saying let's all get along and everyone, let's live in a fucking socialist paradise or whatever. But I'm tired. I just can't wait to be rid of it.
It's exhausting.
That's why I want secession.
I think we can't have that.
Chris just vetoed my secession.
Well, no. Think of it this way.
Like you have a choice.
Think of it this way.
When the revolution comes.
Right. Think of it this way. If that happens,
Yeah.
more news.
Yeah, you're right.
You're just gonna ratchet it up.
Yeah, but
More
at least it doesn't
news.
matter what those fuckers have to say. Like they can at least report
It doesn't
the
matter
blue
now.
state. Oh wait, listen to this. Speaking of secession, I saw one of the stories that I saw today on my break was about ESPN pulling a trailer from their advertisements this weekend, and the movie trailer was for a movie that was supposed to be called Red State versus Blue State or something like that. That's what the article said. It was a Breitbart article, so I don't know. And I watched the trailer for the movie. Oh my God. Horrendous. It was exactly what you might picture. The most fucked up possible thing. It was opens up with some scene of some chick, going into a gas station, and there's a woman behind the gas station. She goes, "How's it going?" And she's like, "Oh, where am I?" And the gas station lady goes, "This is Arkansas, howdy doody." And the first thing the woman does,
Howdy doody.
yeah, it's kind of racist towards white people, but whatever. And then the woman who walked in, grabs her head and smashes it on the counter and shoves her over and jumps over the counter, grabs a shotgun, and then goes in for a kill shot. And it's a movie about blue state people, blue tribe, killing people for sport, hunting red people for sport. And that's what the movie's about. It's called Red State versus Blue State. And the article did point out they're not sure which side you're supposed to be sympathetic towards, but come the fuck on. Come on. You're going to make a movie about... What? You're capitalizing on the worst part of people, worst part of humanity.
Well, now's not the time to do that. That having been said, are you suggesting? I mean, they censored it. ESPN did.
Yeah, good for you guys. Seriously, that's fucked up. It's not cool. Wait, what am I suggesting? What?
Censorship? It's very anti-American.
No, it's not censorship. Censorship is government. Actually, I take that back. Don't quote me on that.
You can self-censor.
Disavow. You can. That I don't think.
I'm just making a point.
Oh, well, that's censorship. ESPN is its own private thing. They can show or not show whatever the fuck they want. It's totally up to them. And so can those people. They can make whatever movie they want to make. I'm not judging them for making ads for a movie that they invested in. I'm judging them for making a movie at all about that.
I agree. It's a bad idea.
It's
a
fucked
bad
up,
idea.
especially at this time in our country. Like, what do you...
Right. The time. Right. It's the perfectly bad timing, but from a certain standpoint, it's perfectly good timing because certain people are going to eat that shit up.
Yeah, you're making that movie expecting people to go in the theaters and be frothing at the mouths watching people who are supposedly their countrymen being just slaughtered at the hands
It's
of
a regular cinema movie.
Yeah, I think so.
So it is going to get released.
Yeah, it's by you ever hear the movie Get Out?
Not ringing a bell.
It was about like a black guy. It's like kidnapped and whatever. A bunch of fucked up stuff happens to him, and it's all about white people. And they're like, there's something I don't know. I never saw it. Maybe I'm mischaracterizing it, but it is like a theater, whatever, cinema movie, whatever you want to call it.
It doesn't paint a pretty picture of humanity.
And specifically, a certain kind of person in America.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was kind of baked into my comment.
Oh, okay. To me, it's like, why the divisiveness? I just don't. Like, you're not even hiding it anymore. It's called Red State versus Blue State, and they're hunting each other. That's so fucked up.
It's because of the divisiveness that somebody
Thought
said,
it would be a good movie
you know
idea.
what?
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to watch this.
They would love it. And the media attention's going to be... Actually, it is kind of genius.
Probably right.
Yeah, you're right. Look, we're talking about it right now, giving them free
Right,
fucking...
it's the perfect time not to do it, but
Yeah.
in a way, the perfect time to do it. And that's sad.
It is
but
kinda
and that's
brilliant.
capitalism, too. I mean...
Yeah, good for you, but, come on. Have some fucking... Like... I don't know.
But, I mean, this week, I don't know if I'm looking harder, but it just seems as though the left-leaning news stations are more and more just directing vitriol. And I've said this, like the co-hosts of Morning Joe get paid $8 million a year each. And they're married. So their household income $16 million. And they're raging against the wealthy. Really?
Yeah.
So, right. And guess what? If you take somebody who lives in technically in poverty, or if they're the working poor, and I make a decent living, so I'm far from that. But in terms of how far they are and how far I am from Jeff Bezos, we're equally as far away.
You might as well be ants, right? Yeah. Yeah. And he just sold like $3 billion worth of Amazon stock, so he's even got a fresh supply.
Well, that's
Yeah.
nothing. That's just converting.
He's just like...
That's just a little walking around money for him.
Right. That's what yeah. It's just like, no big deal. Oh my God. Can you imagine just like, here's $2 billion.
Right. So
Yeah.
he sold.
He sold
he got-
2.3 and then 1 point something.
So he's got $3 billion in cash.
Fresh,
and
yeah.
he sold and it was 2% of his net worth.
Something good. Yeah, I'm like,
I just want some cash.
talk about living the life.
I
that
just
guy.
want to see it. Well, you know what?
Except
my
for that divorce.
understanding
My
is-
God.
My understanding is all he does is work. He
Good for him.
works.
Yeah.
Well,
He clearly wants to do that.
yeah.
So good for him.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah.
like one of the guys, I think I told you that, and this was in Trump's first book, and I've not read the book. This is secondhand news, but so Trump said, when you get to a certain point where you make more money than you really can spend, how much you make, it's just a way of keeping score.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're Jeff
Right, it's just
Bezos
a
and you have
balance.
172 billion or whatever the number is today, yeah, what are you going to buy? Fucking Hawaii?
They're having some problems over there now. The volcano totally fucked up their tourism.
Really?
Yeah, so I bet you'll get a good price on Hawaii, Jeff Bezos. Yeah.
But yeah, so you liquidate $3 billion.
Just for like, and I don't even know why I didn't read the article. I don't know why he did it. I don't know if they know the answer, but like it's probably to do with the divorce, right? He's just like, I just had to fucking give my wife like $80 billion or something crazy. I don't know what it was. Something like that, right?
What's crazy is I guarantee you that like hurts him. He's like, I'm giving away. Dude, you're left with $80 billion.
But it's still, yeah. Oh, God, who is it? Is it Eddie Murphy or is it Dave Chappelle who has a bit about that? Where he says, if you're...
Sounds like a Chappelle thing.
Yeah, it is Dave Chappelle. If he says, if you're worth, like $100 million and you get a divorce, he's like, that $50 million, giving that away, that fucking sucks. But if you're worth $30,000 and you got to give that bitch 15 grand, you want to fucking kill that bitch.
That's a good point.
That's a great way. That's fucking great. Yeah. And I'm not advocating killing your ex-wife, but it does put things in perspective for you.
That is, yeah. Did he do it in a way that evoked a laugh?
Yeah, it was just like that. He says, if you're worth 30 grand and you get a divorce, you want to fucking kill that bitch.
You know,
something like that.
You know what? Before things were as hypersensitive as they are now, is Chris Rock. He's like, you know what? He's like, the problem isn't guns. The problem's bullets.
Yeah, because a gun just fucking...
Well, no, he's like, so think if you made like each bullet cost $100. He's like, think of a drive-by shooting. Yeah, that's like thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. They do that
right?
in Israel. They
or
keep
if you
track
just take a gun and where gangs go into block parties and just start shooting up, rival gang
families or whatever. Yeah,
yeah,
just
shooting into block parties where they know they're, families of their opposing gangs. He's like, and he did it in a way where he's like,
ching, ching, ching.
Yeah, 100, 200, 300. What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, right. God, that's great.
It was very funny.
But that's funny that he said that because in Israel, I believe this might have been bullshit that somebody told me, but I think I'm pretty sure they keep track of all ammunition. So if you purchase bullets, you have to keep track of where those bullets went, and like you're only allowed to have a certain amount, whatever. But
I worked at Dunham's in high school in the fishing tackle and hunting department, and there were certain shells, and maybe this is still the case, you could tell me, that only go in handguns, like 32 shorts.
Yeah, they don't even make a 32 anymore, I don't think. Like that's for a bulldog, Colt bulldog. I don't think they do, or a Smith & Wesson.
Or an H&R 32.
Right, I don't know if
five
that's
shot,
even...
5 caliber
break
revolver.
action ejector. Yeah, I don't think that's even right. That's not a common shell.
So shells that were exclusive to handguns, you had to record them in a book, get a driver's license, write down the driver's license number.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Wow. Well, yeah, did I tell you when we were at the gun range? Oh, yeah, me and Chris went to the gun range this weekend. It was really fun.
Thanks for sharing that.
Oh, sorry. We only looked at guns. We didn't shoot anything. There was a guy there who had a 500 Magnum.
That's just some crazy ass
A fucking
big rifle.
A revolver with 500 Magnum.
Oh,
it was
my God.
This big. It shot a 500 Magnum shell. It's bigger than a 45-70, folks. And if you don't know what that is, oh my God, it was unbelievable. It's like the bullet is like that big. I think it's like 500 grain or something like that, or 400 grain. It's retarded.
Is it a 50 caliber?
It's 50 caliber, but the 500 Magnum.
No,
is,
I get
oh,
that.
Yeah. 50 caliber. Yeah.
So it's the length of a frickin' pencil.
50 caliber is
and
just
as big around as a
right.
lipstick case.
Yeah, it's not quite a pencil, but yeah, it's as big around as a lipstick case. Imagine that hitting you, and then you're like, as you're dying, you're like, some fucking expert sniper shot me with that shit from a mile away. You're like looking up, and the dude just is standing there. Some hick with a revolver shot you with that dude. That thing is unbelievable.
Yeah, a close friend of mine has either a 357 or a 44 Magnum.
Yeah.
It's just obnoxious.
Yeah, I saw him shoot it. He's just like, oh my God. And that's like someone who's trained or practiced shooting it at least a few times, Yeah, unbelievable. I'd like to own a Desert Eagle 50 cal one day. Maybe even a 45, a Baby Eagle. That'd be nice. That's like my favorite gun with the ventral vents.
You're scaring people. maybe even me a little bit. So
What?
I have a little 22 handgun, which 22 is the smallest caliber bullet you can have. Well, okay, what they make a 17 caliber.
Yeah,
right?
but whatever. 22,
Whatever,
sure.
it's-
Yeah.
So anyway,
It's still a gun.
I'm, I guess, a little bit happy that I don't know what you're talking about.
A 50 caliber, what, a Desert Eagle?
I don't know what that is. I don't know
Any
what the fuck that
teenager,
is.
any teenage boy knows what a Desert Eagle is. But
No,
it's,
they don't.
yeah, they do. It's in Call of Duty. It's like, a 50 caliber Desert Eagle, baby. It's like,
I guess if it's in Call of Duty,
you ever seen
probably must
Snatch?
do. I've not.
We talked about this last time.
Yes.
Bullet Tooth Tony, his gun in Snatch, he has a Desert Eagle 50 caliber. Watch Snatch and then use that. And a Baby Eagle is just a 45 cal. What?
I'm making fun of you to the viewers.
What? You have to talk to him. You have to. I make eye contact so that they know eye contact. Oh my god.
Right. Can't. No, it's eye contact.
Gun nuts know that a Desert Eagle is the peak of opulence and extravagance in gun ownership, and that's the only reason I
I
want to
told
own
that.
it.
Yeah, but we had this conversation. If I ever buy a rifle, a 22 puts the same kind of hole in a paper target as a fucking 50 caliber crazy gun.
Yeah, but the point is like, it's just so extra. You don't like. I just used that. That's a youth term. That's a new one. You can use extra. Just means like unnecessary. You're like, it's totally what the fuck.
I was 25 or 6, and I dated a girl who was 21 or 22, and she was a young 21 or 22, and she always said medium.
Like, I want to go see Medium, get my tarot cards read.
You want to go see a movie? She's like, I don't know.
Medium.
Are you up for going to see a movie? She'd be like,
Medium.
medium.
Ugh. Nah.
Right? If she wasn't totally opposed or totally for, she was just like, I totally go with the flow. Yeah, she drove me crazy, ultimately.
Actually, I'm changing my opinion on that because think about how annoying it is for people who are indecisive, but they really just don't give a fuck either way. If there's a way for them to express that in the common vernacular,
Oh, I know. I knew.
might be
I
pretty
knew
useful.
what she meant.
no,
I
I know,
always-
but if it was commonplace and not annoying, that would be good.
Medium.
Yeah, Medium. Be
Well,
like,
I
okay.
say it sometimes, just referring back to when it would
All
frustrate
right, well,
me.
we'll start
just
saying it.
like it's my own little
Yeah.
self-cynical, kind of like me poking my own bear. Like
Right.
I'm the bear and I'm poking myself.
All right, so eight
Medium.
ballers.
So if you've ever,
Yeah,
you've probably heard me say it before, and you just
medium.
didn't know what it was.
I think actually I have. So eight ballers out there, you can start bringing that back. Medium. We'll start saying
Medium.
that. But the thing that you said today, you texted me. I was on my way home from work. You said, "Don't burn it, dude." And you sent me a hang loose and a thumbs up, or two. It was hang loose, don't burn it, dude, and then another hang loose. I don't even. That was like you're speaking a foreign language to me.
You put up a flag.
Yeah. Oh, you said don't burn, like you meant the flag.
Don't burn it. I
Wow.
didn't surround it
Right
by.
over my fucking.
Put a flag, and I said, "Don't burn it, dude."
No, but before it, you sent one text that was this, and then
Okay.
you sent "Don't burn it, dude," and then you sent another text that was this.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah.
send them in that order. That's the order they came through in.
Did I tell you that your phone fucked up my phone? Or your text
Yes.
fucked up my phone? It
Yeah.
was horrible. It was the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
How is that possible?
I don't know what happened to my mom. She had the same phone, and it was just like a travesty. Just ruined. It just like shot it. It was some Android, by the way. It just like it got a text, and the phone like just had like it just started spurging out, and it was just like, you got a new text, and so your little like my
That's
push
not my-
notification.
That's not my phone. That's
I
that's
just
the
wanted
system.
to. I just wanted to blame
My
you for
phone
it.
was the trigger.
Yeah, what it just so happened to be the one that set it off, but no. And luckily, I figured it out. I didn't have to factory reset my phone. All I had to do was block your number, and then I unblocked you a little bit later, and it fixed the problem.
Thank you.
To all of you Android users out here, you have the com.android.processing problem. Nowhere on the internet does it say to do that, but that worked instantly for me. So go ahead and use that.
So you get rid of the person.
Just block them in the messaging app.
You're welcome. You fired.
Where's that from?
What, you don't know? You're fired.
Oh, that's
You
doing
fed.
Trump.
I'm your favorite president.
I have lost the impression
Yeah,
skill.
it's not that good.
I haven't done it in a long time. I used to be really good at it.
I used to imitate Alec Baldwin imitating,
Oh, yeah.
and I was
I love
at
when
work.
people do
I
that.
was at work, yeah, and somebody's like, It's like you're imitating Alec Baldwin imitating Donald
You're
Trump,
like,
and I'm like,
that's- yeah.
I am.
Those are my favorite impressions because it's like you're doing an impression of someone doing an impression of somebody.
Yeah, I used to imitate
Yeah.
Dana Carvey imitating George Bush.
I don't know what that is.
Do you know who Dana Carvey is?
No.
He was a set. Oh my gosh. You're young.
It's drama queen. Oh my god.
Oh. He was a really, really, really popular Saturday Night Live. He's on a short list. I mean, he's probably a top tenner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh really? Saturday
Yeah.
Night Live too.
Yes.
So it's high turnover rate. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. He's. I mean, he's not. All right. So here's a topic. Well, you don't know who Dana Carvey is, so you can't go back far enough. But top tenor Saturday Night Live. You got John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase. Maybe he's not top 10. Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock. We're on 6. Who else? No, he's up there. Mike Myers, Dana Carvey. He's a top tenor.
I'm not giving offense, but if you take offense to this, then I do give it. I think I don't watch Saturday Night Live because I think it's a little pedestrian, but that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, big shot, smart guy.
For shot. I'm sophisticated and cultured.
You don't watch Saturday Night Live. You don't want anything to do with sports.
Sports. It's all just boring. What would an average guy do? He would watch Saturday Night Live and fucking watch sports.
I just realized something.
Huh.
I'm the proletariat and you're the bourgeoisie.
Oh, yeah, look at my globe. No, you have a fucking knight on your thing.
Yeah, because I fight with a sword.
You have to be a property owner.
You're buying these crazy-ass fancy guns.
So I own the world.
I guess you do. I have a frog and a knight.
It's a pretty badass
So
frog, though.
antiquated guy who's going to get his head blown off.
Gold armor, peak opulence.
And
Gold frog.
what species is a frog? And
Amphibian.
an amphibian.
It's technically reptile.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah.
A reptile. Yeah, that's
I don't know.
better.
No, they're different. Well, I think amphibian is sub. Actually, I'm not even going to say because I don't know.
One might be a subset of the other.
Yeah, I think amphibian is technically reptilian.
He's a reptile.
Yeah. Frogs are pretty cool. Have you ever seen there's a frog? It's like a. Is it a Chinese river frog? I don't know, but it's completely flat. So it's not like it got hit by a car, but it looks like that, and it like evolved that way.
Wow.
So it looks like a flat. It's just like pancake frog.
There's
And yeah, the babies like are born and they sprout out of the back of the mom.
Really?
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Never seen it.
Yeah, it's kind of be smart to know about this.
Sounds
stuff.
sounds like something you'd see in a National Geographic. Like what's that series they did? This really good. They did it maybe 2-3
Planet
years
Earth?
ago. Planet Earth.
Oh my god, I watched those so much. Not anymore, but I probably watched Blue Planet 4 times through over and over again.
Is that similar to Planet Earth?
It's the same deal. It's just with water animals and animals that live around the water.
You got a mic problem?
No, I just
Was grabbing on?
yeah. I need to self-stimulate because I'm uncomfortable. That fun fact thing that I do, like just bringing up frogs like that and shit. I've been doing that at my work with people that I'm just meeting for the first time, and
What do you like? And they're
They're just like-
Rain Man.
they're just like, what? They're like, I got other shit to worry about. Why the fuck are you saying this to me right now? It's like that's their
fine.
reaction. They're just like, cool, dude.
So do they have a point?
No, they just couldn't give a fuck. They're medium about it. They couldn't give a fuck either way. They're like, wow.
They're entitled to that.
and
I
I'm
guess.
like, I was like, you know what that happens because when human beings are evolved and they need to hunt stuff in the woods, you have to learn to spot stuff quickly. And the guy just like looks at me. He's like,
I get that.
yeah. They're like, what? The fuck?
I get them. Like they're like, what's what are you, Mr. fucking walking encyclopedia?
Why
Leave,
do you-
leave me alone.
Yeah,
I'm trying to keep my job here.
they weren't mean about it. They laughed about it afterwards because I pointed it out that they were uninterested, and I was just like, I'll keep it to myself next time. I was like, they didn't have to say anything. I was just like, I'll keep it to myself next time. And then the guy just goes, I got enough shit to worry about. He's like, I don't know, I got enough shit to remember. I was like, fuck, that was a boo. I got shot down.
That's a fair response. Everybody's entitled to
totally.
like,
Yeah, yeah, totally. And you know, who am I to be like interrupting this dude's conversation to share worthless information?
about a
literally.
frog or whatever.
Yeah, about like
You wear these
people
flat
that-
frogs that look like they've been run over by a car already. They're like pre-run over. Like, dude, what?
That's like a fourth grader who just read a
They'd be
fucking
like,
National Geographic
right,
magazine.
right.
Yeah, it's like you're like, we're
Right,
trying to
I can see like 2 or 3 people being like, "Who the fuck? Where'd this guy come from?"
Yeah, what? Yeah, wait, dude, are you
Dude,
okay?
get-
are you
get-
on something? Yeah.
Right, get out of here.
It's one of the girls now in the class calls me the fun guy. Oh, you're the fun guy, because I always try to like make light of everything. But I'm okay with being the fun guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one. It's better than being
there's a
like
Friends episode
the
of that.
douche guy or the dumb guy. Oh, there is. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't watch Friends because it's pedestrian.
Fun Bobby, I think, or Fun, yeah.
Mm.
And it turns out he's fun because he's an alcoholic. Then he stops drinking. Nobody wants to be around him.
Oh my god, that's so sad. That guy's so dark really quickly.
Well, and he got the way it ended was so one of the girls on Friends was dating him, and how pathetic is this that I'm talking about a Friends episode on a podcast? But it's just kind of funny.
It's perfect. Yeah. People see Friends. They know what we're talking
So
about.
he stops drinking, and he just turns into this like totally depressed guy who's like impossible to be around. So she starts drinking, and the way it ends is he's like, "I never realized until I got sober that you drink like you do. I can't be in a codependent relationship." And then she's like, "Thank you," like, because she didn't want to break up with him. She's like, "You just, stop drinking. He needs somebody." But I'm gonna have to drink to get through it anyway.
That's really
Right,
funny.
so there was some irony there.
Yeah, that is funny.
The first few years of that show were actually, as far as sitcoms go, pretty cleverly written. But if you think Saturday Night Live's pedestrian, I'm sure you think Friends is pedestrian.
Now, my family's never been the, let's sit down and watch Sunday night or Saturday night TV together, like family style TV. And my friend, my best friend,
Does Saturday Night Live fall into that camp?
on Saturday night, I think so. It's like,
It's kind of late for family TV.
I should say that I've never done that before. We're like, let's watch a show together. Like, the show's on. Let's watch the show. It's never been part of my life.
I think that ship sailed.
For that reason, though, because it's pedestrian. At least, that's, I would imagine my family feels that way. And then, I was over at my buddy's house for like whatever dinner, or they were nice enough to invite me over to have, beer or whatever. And I had like family TV Saturday Night Live with them. And it was an enjoyable experience, but I still it didn't make me think more of the show, but I enjoyed what the show allowed me to experience.
Did for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, when I was growing up, we did that. Walt Disney was on Sunday nights.
You just farted. You pushed the microphone.
Sorry. Right. Careful. I have very unique anatomy.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so we'd have Sunday dinner, and we would watch.
Well, by definition.
We would watch Walt Disney. Walt Disney was a big deal. It was on, I think, 7 o'clock on Sundays. So it was a thing everybody watched. But that was the only time we did that. We had dinner together every night. Did you have dinner together when you were growing up? Like basically at the same time every night?
Yeah, for the most part. Like, still, I know, even now, like, I still live at home. Like, we're still trying to do that. It's just impossible. Everybody's got their own shit going on. So
Yeah.
my mom, like, God bless her, works her ass off making like these awesome dinners. She's a great cook. And like half the time it's like me and her and like maybe my dad or like maybe my little brother.
Well, come on, John.
Yeah.
He'll be in the middle of something and
He just gets so wrapped up in shit.
do OCD
Yeah. He
and a
broke his
project.
finger, by the way.
I saw he was here yesterday.
Oh, what a puss. He should have stronger bones. I'm getting a phone call.
How did he do it? He told me how he did
He
it.
smushed it in between two sinks. So, doing something really important, I would imagine. Oh, speak of the devil, I'm talking. That was my friend, the buddy that you put him on. No, the Saturday Night Live guy, Saturday Night Live guy.
We're going to have to limit you to one beer.
I'm dying. No, I'm not drunk. I'm just.
No, you're full of carbonation. As am I with this sparkling water.
No, I don't know. I've had that, whatever that was. It's pain. I don't know what it is, but I've had that like for as long as I can remember.
Huh.
Yeah, and all these girls are like now like doctors. Go out to the bar with them or something, or go out to dinner. They're like, you should go get that checked out. Like, you're gonna die one day, and you won't know why. Like a misshapen heart valve or some shit. Watch.
Are you gonna burp and your heart's just gonna pop out?
This show would become instantly famous, but it would also end.
Then what would I do? Right.
You would just it would be 8-balling.
Ricky,
You.
what are you doing, buddy?
It would be you and Mike Corpse.
What are you doing? Or we'd have to teach Ricky how to talk.
Oh, I think it's probably easier to just use Mike Corpse.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He's like, I like the texture of your beard. It itches my tongue. Ricky has probably the cutest little tiny dog face you've ever seen.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. You're very much on TV right now. Look, he's kind of half asleep.
He's just like, I couldn't be happier.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
I'm going to put you down. Stop wiggling around, please.
Squirming.
Good boy.
Does he ever
What?
snarl?
No.
I wish I could see
yes. Well,
that.
yeah. He gets aggressive around food.
Oh.
He's the most aggressive one around food.
Huh. Does he look really funny? He's like long, tiny snout.
No, he'll go to somebody else's bowl and bark and snarl at him and make them go. Even Lucy backs down. She's got like 4 pounds on him.
Because my dog, as cute as he is, can put on a fucking mean face when he wants to.
No, he doesn't. It happens so fast. If he does look mean, it's so brief you don't catch it. But no, I mean these guys are they're all puppy
Yeah.
dogs.
It's just like, my dog is insane, you know that. Sometimes just the littlest thing, he'll just be like, I want to fucking, he's like, stay away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I love you. What are you doing?
Dogs with that gene scare me.
Yeah, it is a genetic thing.
Because they can go.
Yeah, he has, but never like stranger. Well, not that anyone can prove, because there's no evidence. We'll never find the body.
I think I told you we had the collie we had to get rid of.
Oh yeah, you did tell me
She
that.
literally went to a farm, not the metaphorical farm.
Yeah,
Yeah, Holly. She was a good dog.
that's what your parents told him. Does she send you emails? She lives on a magical farm with a hammock made of dreams.
It was before before
Email.
household email.
I stole that. I can't take credit. That was from College Humor, Batman or Badman, whatever.
Toonsus the driving cat.
Huh?
Toonsus the driving
What's
cat.
that?
That's a Saturday Night Live thing.
Oh,
It's so sophomoric. Is that the adjective you used?
what, sophomoric?
Yeah.
I said pedestrian.
Pedestrian.
Which is, I think, even more sophomoric than sophomoric is. Like,
Well, sophomoric can be good. Yeah, pedestrian is just stupid.
no, I just think it's like you have to be lame to like this. Which,
So, you didn't think the Alec Baldwin imitations of President Trump were funny?
I think that is also not pedestrian so much, but definitely like you're not being creative. Like you're not at all reaching far here. It's not at all sophisticated comedy.
That's not the point.
I know, but I don't want that. That's not what I want.
You know where most Saturday Night Live writers come from?
Their mother's vagina. Sorry, I don't know.
Oh my god. We might have to ban you for a show.
Sorry, I was
You
just like, I don't know.
sit in the corner with the dunce cap on. Harvard.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they have rich parents or what? I don't know.
No, because you just get oddball humor.
Okay.
I mean, you got to admit some of the skits are odd.
Yeah. I haven't seen much of it. Like, I've only, and maybe that's a fair point to make too. I haven't seen much of it because I despise it.
That show, for sure, the best skits, the first half of the show is good, and the second half of the show usually isn't. Because it's all...
That's not a good, that's not a good ratio,
Well, you just
half of the shows are good. Yeah. Oh, I guess that could describe us, right?
But it's a variety comedy show.
Yeah, variety shows are dead.
Not Saturday Night Live.
Maybe it should be.
It's come close a couple of times.
Yeah, but it's not my decision to make, so I won't even comment on that. I don't care if they're around. I just don't want to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why you got such a hard on against it?
I don't. I think I'm making that point pretty clear.
Just busting your balls.
If you like Saturday
Anyway.
Night Live, cheers. Good for you.
Maybe
Yeah.
you like the older ones.
Probably. Actually, I do like the older ones. I do watch those on YouTube sometimes.
Like the old ones?
Back before it was ever
Dan
PC.
Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Johnny, what is it? I don't know. Johnny something Commando. And one of his products was Bag O' Glass.
Bag of glass.
And it was just a big garbage bag full of glass shards.
That's what I'm talking about. That's freaking hilarious.
Well, that's the way a lot of them were. Just Bag O' Glass.
Bag. That's so funny. It's like that's sophomoric, and I like that. It's good.
Yeah.
It's like Norm Macdonald. Like Norm Macdonald is almost like highbrow sophomoric comedy. So he's like,
Oh, if you want highbrow sophomore comedy, Dennis Miller.
I don't know who that is.
He was, I mean, he's Dennis Miller, savant.
Fond.
They put him on Monday Night Football. He would make literary references that went over my head. Like super smart, super well read, super crazy educated. He would Google him, Dennis Miller, SNL News. He was maybe the best.
Oh, okay. SNL News. Okay, I'll watch it.
He was great, and I think Norm Macdonald was really good too. And Chevy Chase was really good. He was more goofy.
Chevy Chase is hilarious. I love more than any funny person known to man, Norm Macdonald. Above all else, he's my absolute undeniable. He's the best in my eyes.
In terms of stand up,
In terms of being funny, like in terms of making jokes, he's the funniest man that ever lived.
Chris Rock's pretty damn funny too.
Yeah, he's like a black guy, so he's got that factor that's going for him. That's a good. That's
Well,
a good. Factor.
He's got an
Yeah.
awesome
It's
delivery.
just so good. Yeah.
But he's really funny.
Yeah.
The shit he says.
God, he is
But
really
Norm
funny.
Macdonald is too. Norm's really creative.
I love his don't give a fuck attitude. Like did I tell you about this when he went on The View?
Well, didn't he get like banned?
Yeah, because
Kicked off
people
his
were
shit?
like they didn't really get his shit, and then like on
Yeah, but
top
he
of
did
that,
some, or he said some.
yeah, he did. But that's if you're like the peak of comedy, in terms of talent, and you're not pushing the boundary, you're fucking go like kill yourself. What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, but did I tell you have you heard about that story, The View? He was like a guest on The View, and he like didn't
Well,
want to be there.
Oh,
So he,
yeah,
like,
that's
sabotaged the whole-
That's low hanging fruit for him.
That was so good. He was talking about like Bill Clinton. He's like, well, yeah, Bill Clinton, you killed a guy. And they're like, let's not talk about that. And he's like, well, I thought it was a matter of record. It's just like, they're like, stop it. So, and he just keeps bringing it back. And they're like, you're never going to be invited back. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what am I doing? And they planned out like a bit where he gets a fake phone call on like a phone, like a mobile phone. And he just like
And
ruins
did the
the whole
women on
thing.
The View know it, or
Yeah, they knew that because the producer gave it to him. They were like, it was the producer's idea. So they like gave him a fake phone to like have the sound play on the speakers, and like he like answers the phone, and they're like, you're answering the phone on the thing, like you're on a show, right? And he just, instead of that, the phone rings, and he just picks it up, and they're like, are you gonna get that? Are you gonna get the phone? It's ringing for you. And then he's like, it's a prop. It's not real. He's like, it's fake. He just ruins the whole thing and doesn't even make. And they're just like,
so he didn't even do the
yeah.
bit.
He just explains it. He's like, yeah, the producer gave me this and told me he wanted me. I know, it's so perfect. And then it zooms in on the one black lady. I don't know what her name is. Forgive me, but she's just like so
You
pissed
don't
off.
know it. It's what's her name? Whoopi Goldberg, right?
No, this is from long ago. Wait, that's young Whoop. No, I don't believe it. No,
I don't know if Whoopi Goldberg.
that's racist,
looked
Chris.
young. What?
I'm just kidding.
I don't know the show that well. Sorry.
I don't know her name. Forgive me, but she actually
I was
did
going to say,
seem
I don't
kinda like
think
a funny
Whoopi
gal.
Goldberg looked young when she was young.
Ooh, take that.
Take that. No,
Drop
she's
some
just,
truth. Yeah, but God, that clip. Like if you watched it on YouTube,
You know who she was really when she did stand up, she was hilarious.
I believe that. Yeah, she's at least smart.
She pushed the. She was fucking funny.
Yeah.
She was very good at swearing, and she was funny, man. She was funny. You know who's really funny? Lewis Black.
Wait, I know who he
used
is.
to be on. Jon Stewart used to have him on The Daily Show.
Louis Black. I
Back
know
when
who
it
that
was
is.
funny.
I don't know. I can't picture him, but I've heard the name.
Older guy. He's just older guy. Very. I don't know if this is politically incorrect or not. It just is what it is. Very Jewish. Very,
Okay,
very
sure.
Jewish sense of humor. You know who he is now?
That's a thing. Like, I mean, my generation, at least, like, in the gay face is a thing. So I think you can say Jew face, whatever. It's like,
I don't
it's
even
not
know
an
what gay
uncommon
face
thing.
is.
It's a thing. And it's proven. This is super interesting.
Wait, what is it first?
Gay face is a certain look that you have if you're a gay person. And it's so much of a real thing and not like forget whatever. Like, just we made this up because we hate gay people, you know, not like that. That two college guys or two tech guys invented a program that can take a picture of that can analyze a photo of your face and with like some intense, almost impossibly seeming accuracy, tell whether or not you're gay from a picture. It's like above 80%, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's that much of a real attribute, which blows my mind. Yeah.
Huh. I wouldn't think that that's something that's politically accepted.
No, I want to look it up now. Jeez. Like, I don't know about, like, politically correct. Maybe that's why I never went anywhere. I never grew any legs, but I read that a long time ago. You have anything you want to talk about? You can just make that
Talk about yourselves. What was that? Oh, that's from Saturday Night Live. I'm a little verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves. That was Mike Myers, that was Mike Myers.
He's funny, too. He has his moments.
Now, he was funny. He was
Yeah,
very
that's-
funny on
yeah.
Saturday Night. He had Wayne's World, and he had some other characters. What are you looking up?
A facial recognition experiment that claims to be able to distinguish between gay and heterosexual people sparked a row between its creators and two leading LGBT rights groups. Okay, so I'm sorry. If I invent something that can do something and it just so happens...
Wait. Finish what it says.
Okay, let's see. This is BBC. So we're probably not going to get any facts out of this.
No, I think that's the place you're going to get the most facts.
Let's see. 81% of the time is correct. With women, it's correct 71% of the time, which I didn't even know that. That
That's
blows my
still
mind
very
even
high.
more. Yeah.
Wow.
Gay faces tend to be gender atypical, the researcher said. Gay men had narrower jaws and longer noses, while lesbians had larger jaws. Their software did not perform as well in other situations, including a test which it was given photos of 70 gay men and 930 heterosexual men.
Well, you know that in a way that from a scientific standpoint that actually makes sense because there are, science has, I think, led most people to believe that there's a biological predisposition, or maybe not. Predisposition is not the right word, but there's
some genetic factor.
Yeah.
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 And I think there's something to that.
I remember the first time so when this was being studied, and it was probably 80s, 70s into 80s, I remember the one study where I was like, all right, you've convinced me, where it was they injected estrogen into women, straight men, and gay men, and they looked at
gay men, no change. I'm just kidding. That's a bad, mean joke. Forgive me.
Okay, we can't go there, right?
Sorry.
YouTube sensitivity. They looked at like the hormonal response, and it made more sense when I read the article on the data. But there was a certain reaction for women, a certain reaction for straight men, and then it was like somewhere in between, which suggested there was like, I don't even remember, but it was published in, I don't know, New England Journal of Medicine. It was published on, National Institute. Well, they didn't have NIH.org back then, but anyway, it was the final thing where you were kind of like, all right, this is pretty damn conclusive, right? Because you got super conservatives who will still deny any kind of research and say it's a lifestyle choice.
I think that's bullshit.
And they're going to, right? And people like that will send their kids to to undo you camps.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna go to summer camp to not be gay.
But
Really?
I'm pretty sure when it kind of came out that was a viewpoint that like possibly genetic, that was also met with a lot of kind of backlash.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Huge.
Not from
until
conservatives, from liberals.
Oh, I think just
They're
not
like,
from liberals.
You can't
just,
say that that's genetic or whatever. Like,
Oh, I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that that's the
I
case.
don't remember it being that way at all.
No. This
I
is
remember
recent,
just-
not from a long time. I'm saying this is recently in the news.
What, that if people bring up that studies really?
We don't have to talk about this. I could be totally wrong. I think that happened though.
If you're right, that's just again
Yeah,
just so
it's whatever.
disappointing.
It's Gavin McInnes pointed this out to me when I was at a young age, not personally, but when I was watching a show. It's like there's a war against noticing patterns going on, and if you notice patterns, you're on the bad side. You're a Nazi for noticing patterns.
Well, that's like Ben Shapiro's little thing. Facts don't care about feelings or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah, facts don't care about feelings. Facts don't care about feelings.
Yeah.
That's a new thing they're doing at my job. They just like repeat shit over and over and over again.
Really?
It's kind of fun, actually. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it's highly annoying.
it is, but it's like helpful. They're not wrong. They're just like annoying when they're being right.
Okay.
Is what? Yeah, boom, boom. I'm giving it away. It's proprietary.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you don't want to call anybody out?
correct. No, I love the whole thing. The guys who are, whatever, instructing me are the best teachers I've ever had in my entire life. They're younger on average than any teacher, than the majority of teachers I've ever had in my entire life.
What are they, 30-ish?
Yeah, and like, it's because they work for a private institution. They're not fucking, I don't know. It's the most impressive get up that I've been a part of.
Am I bothering you?
It's like your stomach isn't shaped the way that I want it to be, so I can lay my head on it. All right, I just realized how late it is. Yeah.
And we got to get sleep.
Yeah.
All right. Got her in the bacon. This was
And a kind of a rant episode.
Yeah, relatively non-topical. We bounced around a lot. That's okay.
That was a pointless show, but whatever. Sometimes those are fun.
Yes.
I just had a lot going on this week.
Me- No, I get it. I'm tired too.
Next week will be much more concise. How about that?
Let's try to get Lainey on next week.
Okay, I'll talk to her.
That'll be
I'll
that'll
hold
be a
her at
good
gunpoint.
one.
Okay,
That'll be a good one. It'll raise some eyebrows too.
sweet.
All right. That's it.
Peace. Well, you're not going to do your sign off?
Over and out.
Oh, peace.
Thanks for watching. See you in a week.
Or will we?
And we do this, right? We're doing that now.
Yeah.
That's our
Sweet.
sign off. Over and out.
I look like a much nicer guy in a picture
two.
than I ever do than people are listening to me talk.
Okay. I'm clicking. Yes, you got anything left to say? While we're behind the screen? Behind the electronic screen? All right. Later.